Hello, everyone.
Welcome in, everybody.
I'm back.
What's up?
We're back. The two of us are here
Thumb Palette, Rush, Source,
Ready
Blood Walrus,
to cheer.
Vector,
Woo!
Papa Chicken. Thank you so much. Kenneth the Red, Blood Walrus. Welcome in. Where have you been? Where have you been? We are painting up some models today. What are we painting up? Specifically, we're starting with a very tiny little guy. Hey, no free pub for Starbucks there.
This is
Put
not
that-
Starbucks. This is everyone's finest. Huh? Okay.
It's Starbucks. 7 minutes is crazy. Yes, a little bit. I know. Baby, I get it. Hey. All right. Anyway,
All right. So you
Jordan,
want to switch over to the fancy cam?
what are we doing today?
We are painting
Oh,
Le Gros Goût.
He's a little guy.
Little man.
You can bring your palette down a touch too. There you go. There you go. So tell me what we're doing today, Jordan.
All right. So today, you, me, and the other ones. And by the other ones, I mean chat. Are going to be painting up Grogu.
He's so cute.
He's so cute.
That's a
and
real
tiny.
little guy. That's right.
So we're painting. Today, we're going to be doing a bit of a tutorial on how to paint miniatures.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Do you like what I did there?
I like what you
like
did.
what I did there. Miniatures.
Look at that. I can even punch in further. Miniatures.
Many beautiful
All right.
plastic toys.
So
Ooh.
where do we start?
Okay, so generally speaking, when you're painting models that are this size, you don't have to worry as much about getting all of the specific details to be super perfect, right? The smaller the model is, the more important the larger gestures and the colors are going to be, so that it feels correct. Because let me tell you, nobody in their right mind is going to look at this on the table and go, this is wrong if it's not like perfectly rendered. Now, I'm a crazy person. Chris is a crazy person, and we love to paint silly little things. So we're going to go a little ham on this guy because
I think it's fun.
Want to show what you can do with little teeny tiny models. But like I said before, we're going to kind of structure this in two ways, taking it to the steps from 0 to kind of looks good on the tabletop, and then we'll shade up, push it further a little bit more. So,
And he's going to use amp colors too, so it
we're going to
all
use
ties
amp
in.
colors. So, let's pick out some colors to use for Grogu.
And before you get into that, thank you so much. Travel Cedric, 18 months. Appreciate it. Avian, thank you for the bits. You guys are great.
Thank you for the bits.
So what colors are you going to use?
Yeah,
Jordan?
so let's find. I'm looking for a kind of soft brown color. Something kind of in the umbery range. I really like. Sorry, let's do burnt umber.
Nice. Yep.
I also like too that this is a little bit warmer color, so this is going to work really well in complement with the green colors that we're going to use on his skin. We'll use that. And we'll probably use a little bit of beige gray. And then trying to find one like slightly brighter color that we could use for those like punchy highlights. It's tough because the colors are not in order over here, and I want to use.
They're in hue.
Yeah, well,
Hue, Jordan.
I know.
Hue got to pick where the colors are.
Hue, yeah, but it doesn't. Hue doesn't help me when I'm looking for amp colors.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I'm probably just gonna use peach flesh.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for Grogu's skin, obviously he's a Yoda-like creature. I think a little bit of, bright green blue for the brightest highlights will probably be nice. Mixed in with You want to zoom in that photo for me real quick there,
Yeah.
Christopher?
Yeah. I don't know if I can actually. I think so.
Or a photo of
Oh yeah, we can.
Oh,
Sorry.
perfect. Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna keep a little bit of this like beige for the inside of his ears. His eyes are just black. That's easy. Use a little bit of white for the dots, the reflection in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna use. Where is the right green for this? Yeah, we're gonna start with camo green and a little bit of green, and then we're gonna go from there.
All right, so recap those colors for me, Jordan.
So, all amp colors for. Actually, we won't use peach flush.
No peach flush?
We'll keep it here.
Yeah,
I think it can work. These colors for the robe, and then for the skin, we don't really have like a super neutral green to start from, but I like this workup for his skin. I think this will be nice. We won't use a ton of the green, just a hint of it. We're going to mostly be working in these colors. Just this will be a little bit of like a saturation booster in areas where we're going to need it.
nice.
So we're going to start with the burnt umber. You want to give me a little bit of a zoom in there, Christopher?
Yes, sir.
All right, getting it all nice and in focus. Looks good. And we're gonna start painting his little jacket. And I'm using this paint right out of the bottle, not thinning it at all. We're using this paint over the top of our. Which primer did you use when you prepped this, Chris?
This is the rattle can.
Rattle can primer. Nice.
Mm-hmm. So, chat, while Jordan is painting up this model, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. It's serious business, fun time stream today. I'm recording a lot of this, so just keep in mind, if you have a question, I will get to. I might have just had a stroke.
Who gets it?
Who gets it? Hello. Welcome in, everybody. If you are just now tuning in, welcome. Where have you been? I am so glad you have chosen Monument Hobbies today for your viewing pleasure. And when I mean viewing pleasure, I mean pleasure for viewing. Today, Jordan is painting up itty-bitty tiny model things. And we're having a great time doing it. And I hope you are so happy to see this happen. Could Baby Yoda defeat the Balrog? Who knows, Paint Liquor? 2 different universes, 2 separate things. And of course, you're not on a golf course, says Thumb Palette. And it is a 15-mile-an-hour wind going southwest. Jordan is on the back 9. He is 7 under par currently, and he takes the lead here in the U.S. AAA Open. And yeah. He's stepping up to this par 4 dogleg right with a 4-wood. And yeah, here he goes. Very important question, says Travel Cedric. Very important question, Chris. How long does it take to roast a chicken? Well, that depends. Is the chicken alive? Because if it is, it's a little bit more complicated. Now, Papa Chicken says, does anyone notice how Jordan is using just the tip of the brush to paint Grogu? You're fired, Papa Chicken. You're fired. Are we slapping the chicken to roast it? Inappropriate, thumb palette. Inappropriate. Max Payne, how long does it take you to tell the joke about the ticket? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm here for you, but I don't know how that chicken. Okay, thank you. How long does it take? Who knows? You've confused me to the nth degree.
All right. Next color. Beige gray. We're going to mix it in with the burnt umber. We're going to apply the heck out of it to areas of this.
It looks like a little chicken nugget.
Beautiful, beautiful.
He's a little chicken nugget.
Of Grogu.
That's a legit question. I don't know. Someone did the math on how much force you have to slap a chicken with. Thumb palette, you're fired. I'm determined.
So I'm kind of stippling the fur collar that he's got here because I want to create that kind of soft, not super smooth texture. And then I'm just painting the folds on his jacket normally. You want to pull up that photo of that guy again? There, Chris Masushi.
So talk to me a little bit about your brush control when painting small models, Jordan.
I mean, the brush control is no different than anything else, really. I mean, if you can paint the eyes or the facial features of a standard, 28 to 32 millimeters scale model, you can paint a little teeny tiny model like this. Especially one that doesn't have like super intricate detail like this model. Like, the nice thing is this is a great example of a good model to practice on because the details are so not like the details are not super scary to paint. You're painting a little jacket and then you're painting some skin and that's it. So this will feel a little rough around the edges right now. I'm mostly just kind of blocking in that color.
That looks great.
I'm gonna put the pause button on this. And then we're going to start working on a little bit of the skin. So we're going to put some camo green on. Chris, would you mind moving the snipping tool just a hair?
Yeah.
Just making sure that I can stay in the center for you.
Perfect.
And you can see, I tried to just use, you can even punch in a little bit more if you want, Chris.
Yeah.
Since I'm working on the face here.
1 second.
Yeah.
There you go.
Still looking a little.
1 second. There you go.
There we go.
It's super punched in.
Yep. You can see little eyelids there. We're going to paint over. And having a really nice sharp brush is really, really important for this sort of stuff if you're going to spend time working on details like this. And paint his whole head. I know his ears are a little bit of a brighter color on the inside. Got a little bit more of that kind of fleshy color going on. I'm going to fix that up here in a little bit. Just knocking out the base coat on this. Kind of the simple, clean and easy way to work on this. I do think I am going to do a little bit of a wash step at some point. It would be a nice way to pull the face and the robes together. There's a little bit of space underneath his peak here and his chin that I didn't get painted. Underneath the ear. Alright. So we're going to go back to the little robes. And we're just going to use pure beige gray. And we're going to start punching out some of these highlights and details a little bit more. So we're hitting the collar. Most of the areas where you would definitely expect light to be hitting. So we're just putting those highlights right in those areas that I would normally put it on any other larger model. Just being careful to not cover up too much of the previous colors in the previous steps.
For all of you now tuning in, welcome in. I'm so glad you're all here today, watching us paint up little tiny baby, teeny tiny miniature things. He's very tiny. He's a little tiny boy. He's a good boy. A tiny boy.
But you can see even just with those few steps, we all of a sudden have like a nicely defined cloak. You could put this on the model. You want to zoom all the way back out again. Right, like even there, further out, you can see how well that shows up. So this is kind of the goal of what we're painting for initially, right? We want to hit this.
I re-zoomed back in for you.
You want to hit this level of detail on the parts of the jacket or robes.
I would like to see the baby. I'd like to see the baby. Can you guys hear me? Because if you can, welcome in Joshua Lee.
Go eat potatoes, Chris.
Hold him up to your face, Jordan. He's a he's a very little guy. He's a little tiny boy.
Little teeny tiny boy.
I love this
For
model.
reference,
Mando.
This model is so ridiculously small. They really got him in like the correct scale compared to Mando. Also, Mando's kind of big.
I think he's just really small. I think I really like this combo. I really like this. You could probably inhale that, Victor. Yes, you could. So what are you doing next, Jordan?
I'm still gonna be pushing a little bit of these highlights with the beige gray still. I'm not gonna use that peach flush for the final highlight. I think this is kind of perfectly the right brightness for that final highlight, so we're gonna stick with this. I don't think it needs anything else. But what I am gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna take it to kind of two stages. We're gonna take it to I'm happy how this looks for tabletop, and then we're gonna push it even further, and we're gonna start cleaning it up for what I would consider to be like above tabletop, getting near to like a studio scheme, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're pretty close on the jacket. And now we're just gonna work on Grogu's face. And we're actually going to use the beige gray mixed with this camo green. Because I think that this mixture of colors is kind of perfect. So we're scrapping some of our previous plans. This is pretty normal sometimes when you start putting paint on a model. You'll do like a little bit of an adjustment to the recipe as you go. You can see I'm hitting these areas where the light would be hitting. I'm also trying to pay attention to where the wrinkles are on his head. And I'm just highlighting those areas. Creating contrast in the detail that's already sculpted into the model. Letting that do a lot of the work for us.
Can you come up just a touch? There it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hold on.
Readjust.
Just doing a small adjustment here real quick.
How's that feel?
Good.
Better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just slipping a little bit on the left side.
It's looking great.
You want to zoom in one more time?
One more time. Here we go. Oh, refocus. There you go.
So you can kind of see that like wrinkly detail on the top of his head.
Yep.
I'm gonna kind of adjust my. You want to adjust the? There you go.
How's that? Perfect. There you go.
Oh shoot! Trying to not get my hand in the way.
I'm gonna do 200 because I think we get the idea. There you go.
Maybe we do it this way. Yeah, there we go. You probably punch in that way. Nice. So I'm just kind of stippling a little bit of those highlights on his head, keeping that wrinkly texture. Got a little bit onto his eyeball. That's okay. We can fix that. I'm going to go back to just the camo green. I'm going to paint his hands. There we go. Cute little Grogu. Almost done to a nice like tabletop level. Adding a little bit more of that beige gray into the camo green. So we get a little bit more brighter color here.
I'll readjust it if I need to. Looks good. He's a little guy.
This model is very small. This is a very small model. So just punching those brightest highlights. At the top of his lip here.
Law Dog says, I don't know why, but Jordan is my favorite stream painter.
Oh,
Chris, you're great. Jason is great, I guess. But Baby J gives me the comfy.
the comfy.
The comfy.
Hey,
It's because he's painting little baby. Baby J's painting a little baby Yoda.
Little baby J.
God bless
baby
America.
Yoda.
That's what it's all about, chat. Painting up little cute things with little cute paints and little cute brushes. God bless America.
God bless America. All right, so I would say for like tabletop, might do a little bit on the back of his head here. See some little dots. Paint a little bit more of the shape of his head, the back of his ear. Get the back hand here. All right, and then I need to get a little bit of... So to get that kind of skin tone color, I'm going to mix some of that burnt orange, or I'm sorry, burnt umber, and a little bit of the camo green. Probably 3 parts burnt umber to 1 part camo green. And we're just going to kind of glaze it on the inside of his ear. Doesn't need a lot. Just a little wee bit of that color in there goes a long way. And then we're going to take a little bit of black here. Paint the inside of his eyes very carefully. You want to zoom in one more?
Yeah, let me make sure I'm nice and focused for the people. 1 second. There you go. There it is. Nice.
There's one.
Up a little bit. There you go.
All right. Steady hands. We got the orbs in there nice. I'm even going to do a little bit more shaping on the lower eyelids here with our highlight mixture again, just to create a little bit more contrast. Boom. All right, and then bolt titanium white. Just a wee bit here. Sorry, you're seeing just my hands really quick while I prep this. All right. You can see there that the tip of my brush is dry. I'm going to come back in here, wet it up, and just hit that right in there. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the tip back wet again. Boom. Grogu eyeballs. Sorry, Chris, I just screwed that
You're
up.
good.
So, this is great tabletop. 100%. I mean, if we zoom back out, that's a happy Grogu.
Yeah, that's great. Papa Chicken saying, so if this model is a great example for a question that's been on my mind all day. Does a smaller scale make it less possible to achieve competition winning quality work? I would definitely say no.
Would you want to repeat that question one more time? I was listening.
It's right here.
So this model is a great example for, okay, does a smaller
I
scale
don't think so.
make it less possible to achieve competition winning quality work? So this is a complicated question. And so the answer is yes.
Really?
Yeah. So and I will explain the reason why I'm saying this. And it's not necessarily the reason. This is like a,
I would say it's definitely harder. I would say
and that's why.
I think
So-
that's a good point. I think
so
it's definitely
you-
harder.
You are challenging yourself to do something that is more difficult than another type of project. That, like, for example, doing like a really trying to enter Grogu versus like Mandalorian, right? As a competition piece that you were expecting to do really well with, right? There's a couple of different reasons why you're going to be better served doing Mando over Grogu. For one, the model's a little bit larger, so you have a little bit more area to create more interesting detail. Two, because that area is larger, it's easier to paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
The smaller models just have less surface area for you to work with, so they can be a lot more complicated to get right. And everything has to just be perfect.
That makes more sense,
Right?
Yeah,
It's a silly thing to think about, but
It
when you
makes
really
sense when
break
you
it
just-
down,
yeah, that makes sense.
the other thing too is that like it's so much easier to tell a story with a model that's just a little bit larger.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Flapjacks puts it good. There simply isn't much room to show ability. Not many surface types either. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so
Okay, so you're taking it to the next level now.
yeah, so we're gonna take a petroleum brown wash here. And we're gonna do a thin wash all over Grogu.
Let me focus it up for you.
Well, not all over Grogu, but over. This is kind of where we're taking it to the next step, right? These are your next stages. And here we're really trying to introduce some more color and some more visual interest to the model, to really punch up the level of, interesting things going on. So the wash is going to create a little bit harder, darker lines in the recesses. Gonna add a little bit more color.
Can you center up just a touch for me?
Yeah, sorry.
Perfect. This is looking really good, Jordan.
You know, I kind of pat the front of Grogu's face off when I do this. So this will darken everything up a little bit. And now I'm going to push the shadows even more using some cooler colors. And then I'm going to have the highlights, I'm going to shift them more to a warmer palette so that we have really nice cool shadows and warm highlights. Okay? So I'm going to pull up Payne's Gray Wash for this, but I'm not going to use it as a wash, I'm going to use it as a glaze. Might even decide to, I'm going to try mixing it. If you want to pull up the palette cam really quick.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what this looks like when I mix it in with a touch of the brown we used. It's kind of like a nice little like gray. So I might start with this, and then I'll move to the other color. Do we have that air thing over here? Get this to dry quicker for these guys?
I don't actually. I don't know where that went. I misplaced
I don't know
it.
where it went.
I misplaced it. Actually.
You eat it, Christopher?
I ate it.
Why'd you eat it?
That's okay.
Let's shake it around. You had it when you were painting Smaug. It was over here.
Is it not down below you somewhere? Nothing?
Yeah, big old 2x4
No, it's okay.
with
I don't
spikes
know where
in
to
it.
put it. I'm not sure.
One more quick look. It just looks like a crappy hairdryer, right?
Yeah, I don't know where.
I'm convinced that Chris ate it.
I think so. I think I might have.
That sounds correct to me. All right.
All right.
Back to the task at hand. All right. So we're going to be taking this Payne's Gray wash and we're going to be pushing it down into the
Little
shadows.
center up for me.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
This might even not be dark enough for me. So
I could turn the airbrush on for you and you could dry it.
oh, that would work.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh. No.
There we go.
Okay. I'm going to take dark navy blue. And we're going to mix it with that umber. This way I can paint it on a little bit more.
Did that help?
Yeah.
I'll keep that on.
So we're probably doing, let's say, 3 times burnt umber to 1 part navy. The amp dark navy blue. And we're gonna, oops, sorry. In the shadows.
You can bring it up just a little. Thank you, sir. A little more. There you go. Perfect. Welcome in, everybody. Jordan is painting up some Baby Yoda today. Doing a little mini video series on painting tiny models. It's a tutorial I've wanted to have us do for a little bit. So that's what we're doing today. And then he's going to be painting up the Mandalorian, the Mr. Mando. Using some amp colors and some of our colors, some of the colors, our colors, we the people's colors. And Jordan, this is looking good.
Thank you.
So what are you doing here again?
So I'm just pushing this mixture into the shadows. So any area where I'd be seeing a little bit of shadow, kind of just pushing this into the recesses there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to progressively start bringing back more and more of that burnt umber. So you can see I'm covering up some of those areas where I painted over a little too much with the shadow there. But now we have so much more like really deep kind of dark lines, detailings all over the areas of the coat. This is also a little shiny, so I might end up hitting this with a little bit of matte varnish here out of the airbrush, so you guys can better see the actual colors.
You said you're going to matte varnish it?
Might hit it with a little bit of matte varnish. Feeling a little dark or a little shiny right now.
Can you bring it up just a little? Perfect.
Let's hit it with that. Do we have a little bit of matte varnish over here?
Yeah, all of the stuff is, you see where that dropper bottle is?
Yeah.
All of the primers are in there. Matte varnish should be in there too.
I'm seeing 2 gloss. I'm not seeing, unless it didn't have the gloss lid.
No?
I have 2 gloss varnishes.
Wo
ist that varnish is?
There's nothing else down there?
There's glaze and wash medium and primers.
Nothing else.
Not that I'm seeing. Oh, yeah, it probably is. Yeah. It's an unlabeled one, but yes. I don't think we ever got the official.
Got it.
You want me to use this then?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, that's
gotta shake it up a little.
Yeah, that's it. I think it just grabbed one that wasn't labeled yet.
Yeah. This was like the one that we showed on stream when we had it. Yeah.
Yes, this is the little Grogu, little baby Yoda.
There we go.
Sorry, let me refocus. Let me get you in there. Nice. Okay, cool.
Much better.
So what'd you do there?
So I used a little bit of the matte varnish, airbrush
Yep.
matte varnish that we have, just to knock back some of the shine so that I could get a better idea of. This is still drying, so it's gonna take a second to matte over. But I'm gonna let this sit for a second while I clean out the airbrush.
Yep. Cool. And while he's doing that, welcome in everybody.
Some questions.
Welcome in everybody. It's me and Baby J.
Baby
for
J
the rest of the week.
And me.
He is going to be painting up some Baby Yoda just for a little bit today on stream. It's obviously a tiny model, so it typically goes quick. So the rest of the week, we're going to be painting up some Mando and maybe some Bubba Fett and Mando.
Yeah.
I
expect
we're going to do some true metallics on Mando. Show you guys a chromish workup.
Chrome-ish.
Yep, chrome-ish. Chromey. Chrome Villi. Doing a little steel workup. Painting steel. Chromey. Chromaphy. True metallic chrome. True metallic chrome. I like that. It's the same small. Yes, he is a little guy. This is a little guy. I figured it'd be a fun tutorial video on, I don't know, painting tiny models. That's my idea for this one. And what other model would best represent this? I don't know. Baby Yoda is the tiniest of the tiny. Joshua Lee says, does Monument make a blacker black than coal black? Is satin black a little blacker than coal black?
Yes.
Satin black?
Yeah.
Satin black. That is in our Adepticon signature set. Did you clean out? You're all good?
Mm-hmm.
So what's next, Jordan?
So we're going to bring up the jacket back a little bit more specific with where those highlights are going to go and sharpen it up.
Yep. Nice. Cool.
I'm going to be running in between both the burnt umber by itself and burnt umber with a little bit of the beige gray.
So what are you doing here now, Jordan? You're just going back?
Yeah, so I'm just kind of smoothing out the transition of dark to light here using the colors that I have in the palette, right? So I'm kind of going in between colors, moving back and forth to get the right gradient and a nice smooth transition between the colors. This step is usually the part that takes the longest because you're kind of going back and forth. But once you're done with this step, the model is basically done. You're just kind of finding those last little areas of highlights that you need. Now we're also going to do this on the head as well. Let's smooth that out a lot. And then we're going to be using some of this pure beige gray. Thin it down a little bit. Maybe
Teeny
add a
Tiny
sketch.
Victories has a question going back to kind of the original point of this one.
Yeah.
Anything you do differently at a smaller scale versus just little guys in the same scale we usually see? Teeny Tiny's picked up some 15mm fantasy minis and such.
Broad strokes. You don't need to paint all of the things perfect with highlights. As long as you can see each individual element of the model in this scale, you're going to be just fine. I think washes are also your friend at this scale because they do so much of that detail work for you. And they really make your life a lot easier.
What paints would you use for Dark Eldar skin?
Pro Krill.
No, PA paints. Sorry, I missed the PA paints part. What PA paints would you use?
For what?
Almost looking for dead skin for Dark Eldar skin.
I mean, honestly, this beige gray is a really good starting point. It's got that like nice mid-tone value, but it's kind of devoid of kind of those colors that you would attribute to like lifelike colors. So it doesn't have any of the like the reddish tones or yellowish tones, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like greenish in hue, but kind of is like right near the middle. I like it a lot.
This is looking great, Jordan.
Thank you. All right, now for the warmth. We were talking about warming up those highlights. My favorite color, bar none, to use for adding warmth to whatever highlight that I'm using, pale yellow. We're going to take a little bit of that beige. We're going to mix it in. So the pale yellow is generally used to mix into the color that you've been using for highlighting. It's not really meant to be used on its own unless you're looking for a very, very bright highlight, which is not necessarily what we're looking for here. So we're going to be careful with how much of this we apply. And this is also kind of the time where I start to put a little bit of texture into some of the highlights, just to kind of create that feeling of not smooth surfaces on his little like robes.
I'm going to turn the airbrush off.
Yeah.
Looks good, Jordan. Looking real nice. Very nice.
Very nice. All right. So now back to Grogu's skin.
Yes, very small deets and doots.
Now,
Defresh.
this time, instead of using the beige gray to highlight, I'm using the pale yellow because we want that warmth.
Source would like you to know, why does everything Baby J uh why does everything Baby J does look so easy? I'm sure you meant do. Look so easy and good. Cuz he's the man. I said that and I say it again. Little Billy, look at the Discord. It's in Discord. It's all in Discord.
What's in Discord, Chris?
The July challenge is not in Discord. The June challenge is in Discord. It's all in Discord.
Now this is gonna feel like it's a little bit much at the beginning. So we're gonna glaze back down. To darken up the skin, add a little bit more color to it. We're just kind of creating this texture. All right. I'm liking that. We're going to push it a little bit brighter with a little bit more of that pale yellow. All right. Now, I think I'm even going to push it a little bit further, get almost to pale yellow here. I'm kind of just laying out where these highlights go. You can see I'm focusing a little bit more on this, on Grogu's face on the left side. Now the nice thing is he's actually got a little bit of a larger face. So this is even easier than it is doing work on like actual skin tones. I'm going to grab some of this peach flush. Make the inside of his ears a little bit more fleshy colored. We're going to use that burnt umber plus a little bit of the peach flush. We're just going to kind of lay in some color on the inside of the ear. All right. And now we're going to take a glaze of camo green. Too much liquid on my brush. We want just enough to start glazing some color back in. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab yellow green. I'll do a little glaze of the yellow green in here. Because the yellow green is way more saturated. You can see that. So we're going to put that over some of the areas where the highlights are. See how much difference that makes, just that one little glaze. And then we're going to end up covering that up with the camo green. We're focusing this in the areas of shadow.
Can you bring it up a little?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's perfect. I really like this glaze. Really tying it all together.
That's kind of the goal, right? Is sometimes you just got to overpaint it, and then you come back in with your glazes, and that just completely redefines the way that the model looks. And then we're even going to take a little bit of magenta wash. And we're going to use this as a little bit of a glaze as well.
Center up a little.
So kind of in the areas where the cheekbones are. Want a little bit of that rosiness in there. Not a lot, just a touch. And then we're going to take a little bit of that navy blue, a little bit of black. And we're going to do some deep shades. Again, with a heavier glaze. You can see this kind of consistency we got here. And then this I'm going to use on this right side of the face here.
Center up a little. Now, what are you doing again here? You're just adding in.
So I'm putting in deep shadows to accentuate the highlights that we have on the other side of the face. So the areas where the light is not hitting,
yeah,
I'm punching the shadows darker so we can get a lot more moody light.
Nice.
And then the nice thing is you can even do this on the cloak again. Now that we're kind of at this stage, you can kind of glaze back down some of the areas of the cloak.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that they feel more in line with how much shadow is on the model.
Definitely helps bring out the details more when you add that shadows back in.
Yep.
You bring it up just a little for me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is looking great.
So you can tell how going from our previous stage before, where it was just like simple, not super complicated, and you bring it over to this level of detail. We can even punch it a little bit more now that we're kind of in the last final stages. We take a little bit of that yellow green, a little bit of pale yellow. The big thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to reshape the eyes. So that they're,
Oops.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Boom. Just that little bit.
Nice. Up just perfect.
Yeah, so that's about how much I would do on Baby Yoda.
Yeah, so give me a recap, Jordan. Painting tiny models.
Sure.
Hold them up for me.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna rinse my brush off.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Not break everything. Okay, so
Hold them up to the camera for me. There you go. I want to see them all focus in.
small, teeny tiny models, right? If you want to zoom back out here really quick.
Yeah.
So I can give you let's see like how much more interest that has. It's like, it's one thing before when we had that model where it was just like, oh, we painted all the things. It has highlights, it has a little bit of shadow. But remember how I was talking about way earlier on, the whole goal when you're painting small models is to really accentuate the shapes of the overall miniature. And then once you have those shapes defined with highlights and shadows and things like that in the right colors, then you can further refine them with a little bit of texture, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of coolness, play with the color a little bit more to make it more interesting. But you really don't need, like, this is not super clean, super like super duper blended painting. This is just putting the right colors in the right place. And no matter how far away, how zoomed out, how zoomed in you are, do we have regular zoom on this?
This is regular zoom. I can regular zoom it out again.
Is it? Wait, this is 200, isn't it?
No, this is 200. This is 500.
Oh, geez.
This is how tiny this guy is.
Yeah. But like you can kind of see how each stage, it still looks really nice, right? So at this stage, you have the nice, it's very clear who it is, what the highlights look like. There's this warmth in the highlights to it, but it's not overwhelming. It's not too much contrast. And then the further you zoom in, it carries through all of that detail, right? Now, if we keep on zooming back out, same deal. So, like we were talking about earlier, you are painting the same way. You're just painting more small details. Like, I mean, it's like painting a torso, right? I mean, from a size perspective, his head's about the same size as regular humans, which is kind of crazy considering how small Grogu is. But this like torso bit is about the same size as a regular torso, maybe a little bit smaller. So if it were like a female torso, it's no different than anything else that you're painting normally. You're just painting at a slightly smaller scale, and you want to make it stand out next to the rest of the characters that they're with, using bright colors, making sure that the contrast is there, making sure that you're hitting all the highlights in the right spots and the shadows. You'll get a great job every time you try and paint a small miniature like this.
Any other tips you would give for painting small miniatures or how to approach them?
don't get overwhelmed. I know it's small, but you're already painting small stuff. It's just like cutting some of your other models in half. You're just painting part of it, right? So just think of it as like I'm painting a bust of a 22 millimeter, 28 millimeter model, right? So that's basically all you're doing. And then you have this cute little Grogu guy.
Nice. Cool. Great job. I like it. So now we're gonna do some true non-metallic chrome steel.
So
what are your thoughts here, Jordan?
one of the things that I really love about the Mandalorian as like a show and as a character, his chrome Beskar armor looks really cool in basically every single environment that he's ever in. It's really, really cool to look at. So my goal is to try and incorporate a lot of that environmental light that's getting reflected into the armor into the workup for this true metallic metal. So Christopher, if you could pull up some nice reference, and you guys can do this at home, even just by doing a simple Google search for the Mandalorian, you'll see tons of pictures of his armor.
Legally distinct Mandalorian. Mando. Let's see.
I mean, if it's official, right?
That's true. Here he is.
Not so. Oh, there are some legally distinct.
That's what I'm trying. I'm sorry. I was talking with the. Yeah, I mean, you can see a bunch of different.
Yeah,
colors.
I think there's some good examples of him on on different planets, like so like that's a great reference, right?
Just environmental, like whatever, right?
Yeah. So there's just some really wonderful references. I'm actually going to use a lot of that color, I think.
You want me to use this?
Yeah.
Snip it for you?
Yeah. Is there a way that we can like share that to the Discord for the reference so that people can see? Yeah. Oh, dang. Go back to that. Shoot.
Oh, it's gone forever in life.
No, there was another really good reference. Christopher, no.
I'll find it.
If you just reopen the Chrome tab that you had open, that's the easiest way to do it. It was one of those, yeah. Right there on the left.
This one?
Yeah.
You want this one instead? I can only snip one at a time.
Here, let's scroll through that really quick. Sorry, I'm not going to take too much time doing this. Scroll down just a bit. Click on that center image. That one. Perfect.
This one?
Snap that. This is a perfect example of everything that I'm talking about with his armor just like being so interesting to look at.
You can describe it a little bit. I might throw I'll throw it in the Discord later.
Yeah, so we're going to throw this in the Discord later. It's a picture of him outside, kind of in the middle of the day, but he's in shadow, but he's still reflecting a lot of the light from the environment. So you have a lot of blue that's reflecting off of the upper parts of the armor, but it's not in direct sunlight necessarily, so you're not getting that bright white light. But there are some parts of his chest and some parts of his helmet that are, but you get that really nice kind of like colorful mid-range light when you're not exposed to direct sunlight with this sort of armor.
And so is this more of a true metallic steel or chrome?
That's chrome.
Yeah, so more
but
chrome.
We're going to use steel as the base.
Yeah, but it's more of a true metallic chrome kind of workup is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I'll throw it.
But we're going to use steel
in Discord. I'll throw it in the main chat right now.
Because steel's like that perfect neutral.
Oh, shoot. I lost it. Never mind.
You lost
Where'd it go? Oh, I just...
How dare you, Christopher McSushi. Yeah. While you're doing that, I'm going to paint this stuff steel.
Yeah, you're good.
So we're going to start with steel. Realistically, this is probably the last thing that I should do on this model. But because I want to focus on doing this as the main part of the model for what we want to talk about, and Chris really wants to see
True metallic chrome.
This, we're gonna paint it up in this way.
Quick question from Derpstick. How would you paint black hair besides just slapping black paint on it?
Most of it is, in fact, slapping black paint on it. I think the thing is the grays that you use to highlight it, or the like really kind of gray blues that you use to highlight it, are way less bright than you think they are. Your transitions go from incredibly dark to incredibly bright very quickly.
I'm going to zoom in one for you.
Yeah. And I'm just being very careful. I have not painted this model before. I'm really excited about it. Is there a good spot on the screen where we can keep that up while...
Yeah, sorry, I was...
No, you're good.
Here we go. You gotta keep it at this angle from that. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna zoom in one. Can you come up just a touch for me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Man, this steel is so good. Oh, it's perfect.
So why, give us a little bit of your process of why you're starting with the steel.
So I want a nice little blank slate, right? So the cool thing about metallics and using metallics as a base is they're already shiny. So I can use that shininess as a guide for where I'm going to place some of these shadows and highlights so that I can get a really convincing non-metallic metal with as little effort as possible. Because I don't want to take 10 years to paint this. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch, well, maybe you do want to watch 10 years of painting. But we want to make this achievable, right? So I want to have something that's replicatable by all of you guys out there without too much effort. And one of the biggest question marks that a lot of people get when they're painting true metallics or non-metallic metal, realistically, when you're doing a really, really nice true metallic, you're basically painting it like non-metallic metal. You're just using metallic paints. So the goal is to start from a really nice base shine, and then I'm going to find like a nice angle. So, for example, focus. So I'm going to try and paint it so that the light's kind of at this angle. You can see how really shiny, way, way, way more interesting, more interesting, more interesting. There we go, right? Lots of variation in the brightness. You get a lot of the brightness in the center of the leg, the left part of the chest. You'll get it a lot more on like this part of the helmet too when I get it painted. I might even start with like a nice wash of Payne's Gray over the top, just to give it a little bit of that kind of bluish hue. And then work some of the glazes on top of it.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a great workup for this model.
Yeah, you guys shouldn't have too much trouble finding good reference
Yeah.
for this either. There's just tons of it out there. If you just spend 5 or 10 minutes just looking through cool images of the show, or if you're watching the show and you pause at a good time, like
You'll get a lot of references. Actually, that's probably the best one is to check out the show.
I think they did a really great job when they designed this character too.
Mm-hmm.
Having his armor be chrome
Yeah.
just like sets him apart so much from the rest of the universe.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very interesting.
Yeah, all the rest of the Mandalorians that we've ever seen have had painted armor. Like Beskar is almost never depicted as just raw, like chrome, which is really interesting when you think about it. And very cool that they picked this particular character design.
I really like this sculpt.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Can you center up a little?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool sculpt. So when you're painting true metallic metals as a base like this, right? Are you basically are kind of working backwards when it compared to non-metallic metals, right?
It's kind of like a weird pseudo zenithal,
Yeah.
right? Like you paint a zenithal because it's a cheat sheet on where the highlights and shadows should be, right?
Yeah.
If you paint like a nice mid-tone silver like this, you're also cheating to know exactly where
You center up.
where the highlights and shadows should be. So
Yeah.
you're also in effect cheating in the same way.
Yeah. I like this pose too.
It is a great pose.
It's just classic feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Feels classic.
It definitely captures a little bit of that kind of like rogue bounty hunter vibe
Yeah.
for sure. I definitely also like for this character in particular, I really love the silhouette that they utilize for a lot of the promotional material when the show came out, because
Yeah.
it's a lot of like him just like walking with his gun in the background as a silhouette.
Yeah.
It's just a really really nice, because they have, and they incorporated a lot of it in this pose too, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got the flapping cloak, you have the option for the gun. The gun is optional. I chose to keep it because I think it looks really nice.
The rifle on the back.
The rifle on the back, which I'm pretty sure is also made of Beskar. The point is, at least.
And hey, Jordan.
Yeah. Yes, Christopher.
Speaking of Beskar armor,
Mm-hmm.
welcome in everybody. We are so glad you are here. We're getting a lot done today. Little Baby Yoda, little Mando action,
Yeah.
a little bit of true metallic chrome going on. So for all of you who do not know, today, tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, Jordan will be painting up some true metallic chromes. We might get into Boba Fett later, but he is going to be doing a cool workup here on Mando. And yeah, if you missed yesterday, we did our May challenge review, and for all of you who do not know what the June challenge is, the June challenge info is up in Discord, and is going to be grayscale.
Beware.
So get ready for that. Derpstick's asking, do you have any plans for the leather and cloth parts on him here?
I'm gonna paint him.
I like Baby J's classic leather typically.
Yeah.
Using like your transparent browns and all that.
Yeah. I think his are mostly like gray.
Yeah, they're like dark, very dark. See?
Yeah.
Very dark brown.
Yeah, he's got like a dark gray brown, like black brown undersuit, and then the like leather straps are in this kind of like really nice like burnt sienna or burnt orange type. Yeah, exactly what I thought. All right, so now that we got the silver done, we're gonna take our Payne's Gray. A little bit of glaze and wash medium. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Do a little glaze and wash medium work up
A little
there.
bit of glaze and wash medium.
Can you bring your palette down a little bit?
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, so we're just gonna throw this on top of the armor. We're a little out of focus, by the way, Chris.
Remind me of this workup.
Payne's Gray
Uh-huh.
and glaze and wash medium.
Now, why didn't you use Payne's Gray Wash?
I am using Payne's. I'm sorry. This is Payne's Gray Wash and glaze and wash medium.
Okay, sorry. Got it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And this adds just this like really nice little bit of cool shadow.
Uh-huh.
And kind of begins that concept of color throughout the armor.
Yeah, Northrex, it is Payne's Gray Wash and glaze and wash medium over steel right now. That's the current workup.
Boom.
I like that.
Me too.
Very subtle.
Very subtle.
Very subtle, but definitely noticeable. Like, especially at that, like when you zoom back out at that level, yeah.
Yeah, you're like zooming back out to here and you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice. And then what we're going to do, we take some transparent blue. with glaze and wash medium. Lots of glaze and wash medium. We're going to thin the crap out of this stuff. So this I'm going to start using as a glaze to start shifting the color of the metallic more towards blue. And I'm going to be pushing this into the areas where I want it to sit. I'm also using this on areas where the previous layer has already dried.
Right. Come up just a little. Nice. Rattle can, I know, right? It's a great quick way to get some of that definition on the transparent blue with the transparent blue. I'm into it.
You mean the Payne's gray with the transparent blue?
I'm sorry, you were using gray. I'm sorry, I thought you were using glaze and wash and transparent blue here only.
I am.
Okay.
Using the Payne's gray as an initial wash.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking about what you're doing right now.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
Nice. Can you bring it up a little?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's just so simple.
Yeah, heck, you could apply this to a lot of different things for when it comes to true metallic metals.
Now,
okay,
this part is awesome. This is where it kind of takes that next step.
Okay.
We're going to use transparent brown.
Went over to your palette here.
A little bit of transparent black. I'll put right next to each other. I'm going to take a little bit of that transparent blue that we were working with a little bit earlier. I'm going to kind of push this across the front part too. Because I really want the shiny part to be on this side of the helmet.
Yeah.
So
Come up for me a little. There it is.
all right, so we're going to take a little bit of that transparent brown.
I'm going to switch over to this.
A little bit of transparent black. A little bit more of the transparent black. We want just kind of like a neutrally brown, which I think we've gotten there. And this, I'm going to keep at full saturation. See on my thumb?
Uh-huh.
And this is going to be our really dark areas. So up underneath this kind of cheekbone line here.
Camarillo says, "Hey Jordan, just got 200 solar auxiliary guys painted for Horsey 3.0."
Nice.
Yep.
We're very excited about it ourselves. Looking forward to getting all the new information. So there we go.
Might move your camera down tomorrow. Might
Yeah.
help. Oh yeah, I love that. Oh, okay. So what are you doing? What are you looking for here?
So I'm kind of just following the reference from the image, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
as kind of like a guide on where I want these dark colors to come from.
For all of you who would like to know, I just put the reference photo in main chat on Discord. Can you bring them up a little for me?
Yeah. I'm going to kind of glaze into this side too. But we want all those different elements of color to come through. So we're going to do a little bit here on the bottom side of this. Remember, these darker areas are areas of shadow, or the areas where the metallic is reflecting like dark shadow around him. So like up underneath this gauntlet, mostly going to be dark. This leg. A bit of this here. You can also kind of use it to darkline some of the like crevices, which is really cool.
Yeah. Looks great.
I might actually shift this and go the other route where I want this side to be the brighter side and this side to be the darker side. And the reason I'm thinking about switching those up is because this is the focal point of the model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not going to be looking at them from this side as often.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense to put the bright side over here and the dark side over here.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to do that?
How do I fix it?
Yeah.
You bring everything back to the silver. Now I don't have to do everything. It's mainly just this top part of the helmet here. Because this part here we can kind of keep. But this top part of the helmet and the back of the helmet here, I'm just going to bring back to that silver.
Okay.
And then the nice thing too is we can also thin this out a little bit. We can kind of do some glaze blending over some of those areas that we have color on already. There we go. Like on here. Around the And what I'm going to do right now too is I'm going to try and push in some of those areas of really bright reflections. So I'm going to grab silver and metallic medium. Although we may not need the metallic medium, so we'll just do silver first. So if you're familiar with the line, you'll remember that silver is a really, really bright metallic of ours. At the end of that little rhino design, or not rhino, I forget what it's called. But his emblem on the shoulder.
Come up a little bit.
Hit the top of his helmet here. I'm also gonna try one thing really here, or try one thing here really quick.
What are you trying?
I'm gonna try mixing our silver with a bit of bold titanium white and a little bit of pale yellow. Get a little bit of like a semi-opaque silver here that can punch even brighter than the silver can on its own. Yep, which we were able to do. It's a great way to edge highlight your silvers too.
Yeah. I'm really digging this. Definitely the filtering over metallics is getting me thinking about a couple ideas on my own. Nice.
Now we can go back. We can add a lot more of that color back in on top of what we've just done. And we can add a lot of more interesting colors as well. We can add a little bit of greens, a little bit more browns.
You're adding a lot of different colors here.
Yeah, I mean, our environment is surrounded by lots of different color, right? There's stuff all over the place.
Josh was asking about the white. Where did you add the white paint into? What was that little mix up?
So it was pale yellow, silver, pale yellow, silver, and bold titanium white. And you can see that area like right on the helmet here, where it's not really reflective.
Yeah.
That's where I put it there, and a little bit here on the there.
Up just a bit. Nice. This chrome is looking almost there.
Right? Isn't it? It's kind of crazy how the minute you start incorporating all these like different colors into the silver,
Yeah.
you're just like, whoa, it has that chrome feel to it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And the more color you put into it and the less of that silver feeling like it's just bland, the closer you are to having that like
Chrome.
yeah.
You have a couple more minutes, Jordan.
That's all right. We can leave the rest of this for tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's plenty more to do on this guy. There's plenty more work to do even on the metallics.
On the chrome. Yep.
Yeah, so
That's good. Can you give us, once you've done this little bit, give us a recap on this chrome workup thus far?
yeah. So let me just do one or two things here really quick. I just kind of want to get it done with this
No, you're good.
and then we're okay going for another minute or so.
Mm-hmm.
Want to add a little bit more blue to some of these areas.
And again, I threw that reference up into chat.
Yeah, definitely check out the reference. I think you guys will be really excited to kind of see how that reference has kind of affected how I find the colors that we're going to be using on this. And then I'm going to grab silver. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it to thin it down. And we're going to glaze on top of that white that we painted earlier.
Cool.
Yep. I think that's a good stopping point for right now.
Yeah. Give us a little short recap on what you did thus far.
So we started with the steel base coat over the whole model, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this looks so much better too when you zoom into it.
Mm-hmm.
So we started with a steel base coat over the whole model. And then we started using a Payne's Gray and Glaze and Wash medium mix to do a wash over the whole model. This kind of set the stage for a very subtle layer of kind of like coolish black, brown, like just like a cool shadow for the whole model. And then we started glazing in with transparent blue, transparent green, or transparent blue, transparent brown, a little bit transparent black to really kind of push these areas where the light is reflecting off of the chrome. Our next steps from here, I mean, you could keep it like this. This is really solid for like a tabletop sort of workup. Like you could just paint the rest of the model with this and it would look really cool on the table and anybody would be super happy and would think it looks really cool. We're gonna push this a little bit more, see if we can't get a little bit more out of this metallic. Sharpen it up, create a little bit more contrast, refine where those reflections are at. And then from there, we'll paint the rest of this guy. I'm really excited for it. Again, we've used true metallics here. We're using kind of that non-metallic style to create really, really nice visual interest in the model. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. It sounds like everyone is so far. And yeah,
cool.
I'm excited to come back tomorrow and knock out some more of it.
Take us out, Jordan.
Everyone, thanks you so much for hanging out with us today. It's been a great day of painting two really fantastic models from Atomic Max Games. Thank you guys for sending those over for us to use. Using mostly the AMP colors, with some exceptions in some areas where we needed to pull some colors that don't really exist from the AMP line. But we got kind of pretty far in the 2 hours that we've had today, as far as models are being done. Make sure you guys check out all the links that Chris has so kindly put into chat for us. We have the store link where you can find all the fantastic paints that we've been using here today. We have the YouTube link where you can find the VOD for this stream as well as all of our previous streams. Also where we post all of our kind of edited full-length form videos, as well as our shorts. So check those out. Make sure you guys check out the FLGS link. You can find local game stores near you where you can find our products as well. And then make sure you guys check out the Discord. Our Discord is such a great place to hang out. Tons of fantastic artists on there. Great time to chat and talk about painting minis.
5,719.
5,719. That's wicked. Bonkers. We are going to find somebody to raid. Don't forget we stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This is right around where we end for the day, you guys. We're going to find somebody to raid to take you off into the rest of your evening with a little bit more hobby goodness. We will see you all tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have a nice